So, we'll be heading back tomorrow. Just a few more hours out in the middle of nowhere. You excited to get back? Yeah. Yeah, sure, me too. Well, I wouldn't mind a latte. What? I'm not all rugged outdoors. I can appreciate things like air conditioning and shelter. I don't usually like to be around people, so I tend to avoid it, but, I suppose not all people are bad, huh? You know, I like to maintain boundaries. Like professional boundaries, even physical boundaries. Emotional boundaries keep me safe. They keep me professional and personally accountable, and also a little untouchable. I thought I could navigate all of that. I mean, I navigate impossible terrains, right? I navigate things that people wouldn't usually survive, that it would break them. My mother used to say that I was born with ice in my veins, though. That I was too cold, as cold as the outside. Not a nice thing to say to your own kid, is it? My father knew different, though. He knew better. He understood. He understood that what looks like emotional distance can actually be just a survival mechanism. I mean, especially since we were always out in the wilderness, and you've got to keep your cool. You've got to be detached. Emotion can be as deadly as an unexpected avalanche. But that means that I can also sort of trace the geography of my emotional isolation. The same way I can trace the contours and the borders of a topographical map. Here, a moment of protection, and there, a defense mechanism, and over the years, I ended up keeping people at arm's length. I kind of felt like connection wasn't really a luxury that I could afford. You know, my earliest memories they're of landscapes, not people. Like, other kids had crushes. I had the Sierra Nevada and its granite peaks and its hidden valleys, and I would daydream about it. Discovering unexpected rivers. Finding little nooks to hide out from, away from the weather. And that felt intimate to me. Sort of like becoming one with the terrain, one with Mother Nature, one with the earth, one with everything that was out there. Because I understood it. I understood it before I understood human small talk. Which arguably I still don't understand. Sometimes. A lot of times. Expeditions were my sanctuary, where emotions were a liability. So if I couldn't connect with people, it wasn't a flaw, it was a feature. Because survival depends on crisp, clear communication and decisions and no room for hesitation, no space for messy, complicated feelings. And then you arrived. We're like that unexpected storm. I mean, not dramatic, not loud, not destructive. And you didn't trap me anywhere. Figuratively or literally. But like a storm, you just gently eroded away every layer of protection and everything I thought I knew about myself, which is very badly done of you. Because it's left me, a little lost. A little, vulnerable. You know, all my previous partners in expeditions, they were all professionals, they were all trained, they were efficient, they understood all of those, unspoken rules of wilderness partnership, Maintain your distance, focus on survival, get the story, capture the picture without becoming part of it. But you have been different. You were, for the moment you picked up your camera. It wasn't just the technical skill. That was good. That was impressive. But there is something deeper about the way you look at the landscape. You're not just documenting, you're understanding and respecting. You're connecting. And that kind of terrifies me. Coming down that mountain, that was more than a physical challenge. That was a conversation, between us and between the mountain and between everything I thought I knew about myself, everything we thought we knew about ourselves. I'm not great with small talk, but I did learn how to read people and understand. I thought I knew how to read people and understand where they were emotionally. But you threw me. You threw me. Or maybe it's just that I didn't want to be able to read you because I was still trying to figure out what I was feeling. So I didn't want to know what you were feeling. Not until I knew what I wanted, or if I even wanted anything. And then when I realized I did, I was afraid of knowing what you wanted in case you didn't want anything. You see where I'm going with this, right? Right? There's always this point when you're hiking, when you're traveling, that you realize that you have to depend on the person next to you. There's often a point where no matter how hard you try to remain professional, those boundaries dissolve at some point, and something more primal takes over, the trust that goes beyond acknowledgement and words, just beyond professional courtesy and respect. There's this trust that you learn that this person has got your back and you've got theirs. Even if it's only just very temporary. That used to be the closest that I came to friendship. That was the closest that I came to connection. And it was only about survival. And I didn't realize that. I thought that was as meaningful as it gets, that moment when you're relying on each other and you trust each other. But that's not all there is. And if I hadn't met you, I never would have known that. Nothing prepared me for you. For the vulnerability that you introduced me to. I thought I was brave because I could be afraid of something and still face it. And then when I was wondering what I wanted from myself and what I wanted from you, I started to be afraid, and I didn't face it. I kept talking about survival. I still keep talking about survival because somehow that's easier to talk about. Even if I'm putting it into the form of a metaphor for relationships. When we were setting up our camp today, the way we worked together, all synchronized. Our movements just playing off of each other. My muscles knew where your hand would be when I passed something off to you. My body knew where yours was. My peripheral vision always had you in the corner. It went beyond professional partnership. And then when we were tying the tent line, your hand just brushed mine. And it was such a simple, casual, unintended touch. And I realized that I wanted more. That everything had changed and that I couldn't keep thinking about what I wanted. I knew what I wanted, and I couldn't keep avoiding learning what you wanted because I had to know. I could feel that spark, that tension that's been building all of this time. I could feel every mile that brought us closer and closer to that moment when our hands brushed. And that boundary that I was always so good at keeping just disintegrated. And then you gave me that look. Not that professional, I'm looking at you at the camera and I'm considering composition. Not that. But you looked at me. Not where I was in proximity to the landscape. Not my lighting. Not my composition. You looked at me. And it had nothing to do with survival. It was something else. It was something else entirely. And all of those walls, just all of those barriers, all of those defenses fell apart. And it feels so frightening and so precarious and so so exciting. I'm not mistaking this, am I? I'm reading the lay of the land correctly, aren't I? Please tell me that this isn't just me being imaginative, because I'm not usually imaginative. Okay, then. Okay. In that case, I suppose that we've got just one more step. One more challenge. One more precarious step where we have to trust each other. And rely on each other. And be there for each other. And, that will bring us to the next part of our journey. Yeah. Are you ready? Expeditions are never just about the terrain you're crossing. They're about the landscape you discover inside yourself. Patagonia wasn't just a location on a map. It was a metaphor. A complex, breathing ecosystem that does more than just challenge your physical limitations. It dismantles your emotional boundaries. One razor-sharp ridge at a time. I've spent a lifetime believing vulnerability was a weakness. That emotional distance was my greatest survival skill. My entire career with Wild Frontier was built on the premise that true exploration happens out there, in the unmapped territories, in challenging landscapes that most would never dare to traverse. But there's a different wilderness that exists inside us. My cameraman Cupcake over here. He wasn't just a cameraman. This time, he was a cartographer, mapping my heart. Someone who understood that every landscape, whether it's a mountain range or a human emotion, has layers and complexities. Hidden passages that reveal themselves only to those patient enough to look deeper. Our expedition wasn't just about capturing footage. It was about capturing something far more rare. Understanding. Connection. The kind of intimate knowledge that transforms you at a cellular level. Patagonia taught me that the most dangerous territories are the ones we refuse to explore. The emotional landscapes that we keep carefully mapped but never truly enter. Those uncharted regions within ourselves that we're terrified to acknowledge. Who would have thought? Me, Dreamy. I am known for my unbreakable professional demeanor. Learning about surrender from a city boy called Cupcake with a camera and an unexpected depth of spirit. The wilderness doesn't care about your past. It doesn't negotiate with your preconceptions. As I've said before, it simply exists. It offers you a chance to adapt or disappear. I chose to adapt. Some journeys change your coordinates. They spin you around and send you off in a different direction. Some expeditions rewrite your entire internal map. This was one of those journeys. To those watching, your most important expedition might not require a passport. Probably doesn't require hiking gear. Or sub-zero temperature rated sleeping bags. It might just require the courage to look inward. To understand that the most challenging things are often the ones that we've constructed inside ourselves. That's what it was for me. Luckily, you don't have to go as far as I did in order to discover that. Patagonia was our setting. But the real discovery, that happened somewhere between the mountain pass and that moment of unexpected connection. So welcome to the true wild frontier. Hey, cupcakes. I hope you're all doing well. I don't think I gave you a lot of ear to ear in this audio, so I'll be over here, and then I'll be over here, and I'll do that whispery thing in this ear, and then I'll do that whispery thing in that ear. How's that work? Good? Good stuff, and I love that stuff. Love that shit. Anyway, hi. Thank you for joining me for yet another story, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, this is the character that I did a Spicy Sunday for last weekend. Have fun with that. And it occurs to me that the next character coming out probably will not be out by Sunday. But it is a character that I can start off. Actually, you know what? Coming up next week, we start off in the middle of a relationship that is going to be a comfort audio about somebody who's already in a relationship. And it's a kind of a good relationship that faces a little bit of a challenge, but we'll work it out. It's good. It's all good. It's somebody who absolutely adores the listeners. So, spoilers. Is that really a spoiler? At some point or another, you know that my character is always going to adore you. So, But since they start off in an established relationship, I could use them for the. I can use that character for the spicy Sunday this Sunday. What a way to introduce her. Being extra friendly. Anyway, hi. So thank you so much, actually, to my newest patrons over there. There's Jason Grimm and Carefree Ghost, and hi. And of course, I always have such special thanks for those Baker and Pound Cake tier patrons who make it so that I can do this all the time. There's Pack3424 and Deanster, Flaws, Kuro, Loot Curator, Limanic Cultist, Teko, Gunner's Mage, Mushan, The Wholesome Yandere, Thomas Rogers, William Gungrave, Nosti, Barry Wilburn, Esteed, SLE Photo, Harper Evolution, Wolf9004, Malicilo, Lou, Bunny, Merrill, Mr. Rickles, on in for sale. I still haven't found out why he's for sale, how much he's going for. Anyway, we'll get to that. I will get back to you. Darth Mythos, Red Death 48, Always Able, Old Bean UK, Kulua Bear, The Swaggy Llama, Artlow, Pierce Tailish, and Christian Cleopatra. You know what occurs to me? I did not credit. I put in an image of Anand's in my Whispery History where I did the exploding whale story, because he had traveled up and down the West Coast, and he took. I busted his chops a little bit in the comments, I think, because he'd taken a picture of the actual spot where the exploding whale occurred. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go head over to my Whispery History that's linked in the comments down below, because it's a funny, silly story. But yeah, he took a picture, and he just happened to bring it to me the day I was editing that audio. And he said, hey, take a look at what I took a picture. And I was like, that's what I'm doing. Can I use that photo? So I need to go back and actually credit him. But so thank you to Anand. And you know what? Thank you to all of you. You are all so very wonderful, so very supportive. You have been so good as to make it so that I could get monetized very quickly over on that other channel. I already have enough subscribers, and I need my watch time up, but that's going to happen soon enough. You guys have been wonderful, and the milestones that take most people a very long time to hit, you've been very good at helping me hit very quickly. So thank you so much for your support, and I adore you all. You are so very good to me. Thank you for all of your comments and your shares and your likes and your subscriptions and your memberships and your super thanks. You guys, your throne gifts, you're so good to me. And I hope that you are all being as good to yourselves as you are to me, because you really deserve to be treated as well as you treat me. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you soon.